Good morning, America. Tens of thousands walked off the job at midnight. Now, the standstill impacting the nation. Breaking overnight. On strike.
Nothing's gonna move without us.
Union dock workers at ports from Maine to Texas hit the picket line. How it could cost the economy billions of dollars a week and what it could mean for supply chains and prices.
Desperate search and rescue. Thousands of National Guard members activated. Now, the race to get relief to parts of North Carolina cut off by the hurricane. Some in desperate need of water. But communities staying strong.
Boulders may be moved, but we will come back together.
This morning, Ginger tracks the new tropical threat.
President Biden blasts Donald Trump.
Let me get this straight. He's lying.
For lying about Biden's response to Hurricane Helene. While Kamala Harris cancels a campaign event to meet with FEMA officials. As Tim Walz and J.D. Vance get set to face off in tonight's vice presidential debate.
Overnight, Israel sending ground troops into Lebanon in raids aimed at Hezbollah targets, while the U.S. presses Israel to contain the scale of operations.
Dangerous close call. A new video showing a Russian fighter jet coming within 50 feet of an American F-16.
Breaking overnight, remembering Pete Rose. His record-breaking career overshadowed by controversy.
Queen Elizabeth's battle. New claim from the former British Prime Minister who met with her just 2 days before she died.
Dad on a mission. A 12-hour trek after Hurricane Helene, fighting on foot through the mud to walk his daughter down the aisle.
Born to be wild.
Wild finish.
You gotta be kidding me!
Both the Mets and Braves punching their tickets to the playoffs and roaring into the end zone.
Who had that on the bingo card?
A touchdown for the Lions QB on his perfect night.
Live in Times Square, this is Good Morning America.
That was quite a football record there. Good morning, America. Hope you're doing well this Tuesday morning.
And we have a big morning here, October 1st, as we kick off Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we have thrivers and caregivers that are joining us here in Times Square, plus some breaking news and some of the new numbers that are out this morning and the latest developments in the fight against the disease. The CEO of the American Cancer Society will join us exclusively.
But we're going to begin with breaking news overnight. Tens of thousands of dock workers walking off the job just after midnight. The strike threatens the nation's supply chain and could lead to higher prices and possible shortages. Ports from Maine to Texas, like the ones you're seeing live right now, are being impacted. Elizabeth Schulze starts us off at the vital port of New York and New Jersey. Good morning to you, Elizabeth.
Hey, good morning, Michael. Hundreds of union workers here tell us that they are demanding a fair contract, and the union's president says that they will stay on strike until they get that. Until then, busy shipping hubs like the Port of New York and New Jersey here, the busiest on the East Coast, are at a virtual standstill.
Nothing's gonna move without us.
This morning, tens of thousands of union dock workers at more than a dozen ports from Maine to Texas are off the job and on the picket line.
We're here to support for going forward the future. No automation. We want to secure our jobs.
At midnight, the International Longshoremen's Association announcing its first strike in nearly 50 years after it failed to reach a new contract agreement with the U.S. Maritime Alliance. During 11th hour negotiations, the union insisting on a 77% pay increase over 6 years and limits on the use of automated machines. The shipping industry group responding with the nearly 50% pay hike.
I want to tell you all what you're doing is right. This is going down in history. What we're doing here.
14 vital ports that absorb more than half of the cargo shipped to the U.S. from other countries are now at a standstill. Fresh fruit, clothes, machinery, and medicine won't be loaded on or off container ships, potentially costing the American economy up to $7.5 billion in 1 week. Analysts say for every day the strike lasts, it could take 6 days to clear the backlog, an echo of supply chain bottlenecks during the pandemic. Retailers like executive Kevin Rhee say a strike lasting more than a couple weeks could force businesses like his to raise prices for customers.
If all the East Coast and the Gulf Coast ports are closed, businesses will be bringing things in from the West Coast, which will cause more congestion there, and you have to transport that all the way across the country. Ultimately, what that means is higher costs for consumers.
Biden says it will still handle military cargo, and cruise ships will run on schedule during the strike. The White House has just released a statement saying that President Biden and Vice President Harris are closely monitoring any supply chain impacts. Robin.
All right, Elizabeth, thank you. But now the desperate search for people still unaccounted for following Hurricane Helene. The death toll across the Southeast rising to at least 133 people. In some communities, drinking water is scarce and gas is in short supply. Just look at that long line in hard-hit Asheville, North Carolina. And that's where our Faith Abube is for us this morning. Good morning, Faith.
Yeah, good morning to you, Robin. Some people here without food, power, or water are growing desperate by the minute. In fact, we saw a couple of people along this road yesterday who were so desperate that they were going through the storm debris, trying to find any kitchen item they can find so they can put it over an open fire and cook something to eat. After Hurricane Helene left torrential flooding and landslides like this one in Boone, North Carolina in its wake.
My car is gone.
Residents scrambling this morning to locate loved ones as the search and rescue mission intensifies across parts of the Southeast. The collision of these two homes among the horrific and widespread destruction across 6 states. Flash flooding and mudslides devastating the mountains of western North Carolina. The former bustling town of Chimney Rock now turned into rubble, but residents there vowing to rebuild.
The life in Chimney Rock is strong, okay? Like the rocks. Boulders may be moved, but we will come back together.
Survivors of the storm growing more desperate for food and water since Helene barreled through.
We haven't had power, water, very low on food.
Gas lines a mile long.
We are continuing to ramp up pushes of commodities, particularly water and MREs, as well as fuel and other resources into the impacted communities.
Hundreds still unaccounted for, like Julie LaRoe.
If anybody's seen her or knows anything, please let somebody know.
She and her fiancé, John Norwood, sought shelter at a neighbor's house when Helene hit, but a mudslide took out the home.
We looked outside and there was a 30-foot tall wall of water and rocks and tree debris just coming at us, and it just knocked the house straight down with all of us in it, and we all got washed down river.
John's legs crushed by ceiling rafters, rescuers using a pulley to bring him to safety over rushing floodwaters. Julie hasn't been seen since.
I crawled around screaming, looking for her, and I just couldn't find it.
Thousands of National Guard members have been activated, racing to get supplies to the region. FEMA handing out food and water, defending its response to the disaster.
We have continuously been moving resources into those impacted areas since the storm has passed, but we know that there's a lot of need.
And Robin, we know the Air National Guard has been working with FEMA. They've brought in more than 100,000 pounds of food and water. They know they need more as quickly as possible. They also plan to open more distribution centers for people who are cut off. In the meantime, President Biden is expected to touch down in North Carolina tomorrow to survey the damage. Robin.
We do. The need is so great in that area. Faith, thank you. We're going to go to Ginger now with the latest on there's a new tropical threat.
Right, and we're 5 days after landfall, and Helene's tropical kind of legacy moisture is still hanging out for another day. So we'll get through that one, and then I'll get to that other threat. But look at this. We still have coastal flood advisories from Delmarva Peninsula right up through the tidal basin there of Washington, D.C. Lingering showers all the way through tomorrow. They're very light tomorrow to move out. If you do have a flood warning, it means that your rivers are still high. They're on, coming down, but it takes time. And then here's that new chance. It's a disorganized area of thunderstorms we're watching. And I looked at the models this morning. Very much looks like the Gulf of Mexico. The eastern half would be the place to look for this late weekend, early next week. And just a reminder, we are still in the heart of hurricane season. People said, isn't this late? No. October 10th, where we are, or you can see it there, we're very much in the heart of another month at least. We've had big ones, Sandy, Michael, others. So keep that in mind.
Just the beginning.
Yep.
Okay, Ginger, thanks. As Faith reported, the Biden administration has deployed money and materiel to the storm zone. That didn't stop former President Trump from making false statements about the federal response, as Vice President Harris cut short a campaign swing to meet with FEMA officials. Rachel Scott is tracking the campaigns. Good morning, Rachel.
Hey, George, good morning to you. Yeah, Donald Trump touched down here in Georgia. He visited a part of this state that had been gutted by that storm. And despite vowing to put politics aside, he still resorted to pushing false claims about President Biden. This morning, President Biden laying into Donald Trump for pushing false claims that Georgia's Republican Governor Brian Kemp could not get President Biden on the phone after the devastating storm, despite the president providing full resources of the federal government to help.
Let me get this straight. He's lying. And the governor told him he was lying. The governor told me he was lying. I've spoken to the governor, spending time with him, and he told me he's lying. I don't know why he does this. And the reason I get so angry about it, I don't care about what he says about me. But I care what he communicates to the people that are in need. He implies that we're not doing everything possible. We are.
The Army placed officials and equipment in Georgia ahead of the storm. The federal government has deployed more than 3,500 people to Georgia and other states to respond to the aftermath. Still, this is what Trump said just hours earlier while surveying storm damage in southern Georgia.
The governor's doing a very good job. He's having a hard time getting the president on the phone.
The reality, Kemp himself said he spoke with Biden.
He just said, hey, what do you need? And I told him, you know, we got what we need. We'll work through the federal process. He offered that if there's other things we need, just to call him directly, which I appreciate that.
Vice President Harris also changing her travel plans over the storm, canceling a campaign event in Nevada to return to Washington and meet with FEMA officials, saying she spoke to the governors of Georgia and North Carolina, too.
I plan to be on the ground as soon as possible, but as soon as possible without disrupting any emergency response operations, because that must be the highest priority in the first order of business.
Yeah, and President Biden saying that this is just the beginning when it comes to providing the full resources of the federal government, calling this storm one of the worst ever, George.
And Rachel, a judge has stepped in on Georgia's abortion ban.
Yeah, that judge ruling that Georgia's 6-week abortion ban is unconstitutional. This ruling now allows abortions up here in Georgia until 20 weeks into a woman's pregnancy. This is likely only temporary. The state already vowing to appeal this, but it does put this issue back front and center in this battleground state with just 35 days to go until the November election, George.
Rachel Scott, thanks, Michael.
All right, thank you, George. More on the race for the White House. Governor Tim Walz and Senator J.D. Vance face off tonight in the vice presidential debate. Our chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce, has more. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, Michael. Yeah, that's right. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and Ohio Senator J.D. Vance are now preparing for their first face-off, their first and only debate, and what will likely be the last debate of this season. So you said it, the stakes are high. Now, for 90 minutes, they will go head-to-head on the issues that will determine this race: abortion, immigration, and, of course, the economy. There will be no audience, just the candidates and the CBS News moderators, and no opening statements. Now, instead, each candidate will get 2 minutes to answer and respond to each question, 1 minute for additional rebuttals. And in a change from the presidential debate, the microphones will be turned on the whole night. Now, already both campaigns are trying to lower expectations. The Trump campaign telling reporters Walz is a career politician who's very good in debates, while sources have told reporters the Minnesota governor is nervous. And we know he did warn Harris during the vetting process that he's a bad debater. Now, both men have been intensely preparing with mock debates. Tonight, a chance for them to further introduce themselves to voters, but they know most Americans make their pick based on who's at the top of the ticket. So they need to defend their positions, make clear the stark choices before voters, and of course avoid any errors that could hurt their running mates' chances, Michael.
Yeah, still will be tuning in for that. And we're going to have full team coverage of the CBS News vice presidential debate between Governor Tim Walz and Senator J.D. Vance. See it tonight, beginning at 8 Eastern, right here on ABC. George?
Okay, Michael, we'll return now to the Middle East. Israeli officials say the military has begun a targeted ground operation inside southern Lebanon in the latest escalation in the ongoing fighting. Chief Foreign Correspondent Ian Pennell is in Beirut with the latest. Good morning, Ian.
Yeah, good morning, George. You know, we've been talking about the dangers of escalation in Israel's war against Hamas, and overnight, it just happened again.
Overnight, Israeli ground troops crossing into Lebanon to conduct what they describe as limited localized raids against Hezbollah targets.
Hezbollah turned Lebanese villages next to Israeli villages into military bases, all ready for an attack on Israel. Hezbollah had prepared to use those villages as staging grounds for an October 7th style invasion.
Shortly after, the IDF saying they intercepted several missiles fired from Lebanon. Ahead of these strikes, the Pentagon deploying several fighter squadrons and a few thousand extra personnel. They join an aircraft carrier strike group bolstering US forces in the region. The US pressing Israel to contain the scale of operations. On Monday, President Biden again calling for peace.
We should have a ceasefire now.
Israel also attacking here in Beirut overnight. Parts of this densely populated neighborhood in the city are starting to look like Gaza, with civilian casualties and hundreds of thousands forced from their homes. Iran promising the assassination of Hezbollah's longtime leader Hassan Nasrallah won't go unanswered. But so far, they've not taken any action. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu issuing an apparent warning in a video message to the Iranian people.
When Iran is finally free, and that moment will come a lot sooner than people think, everything will be different.
Well, Israel issuing yet more warnings to more residents to leave their homes. Guys, we've had up to 1 million people in this country made homeless in just a matter of weeks. Robin?
As always, appreciate your reporting from that region, Ian. Thank you. And this morning, we are remembering Pete Rose, baseball's all-time hits leader who was banned from the sport for gambling. Lara is here with more. Good morning, Lara.
Good morning to you, Robin. Yeah, Pete Rose finished his career with several MLB records, including one that still stands for the most hits ever, surpassing the legendary Ty Cobb for that record. But he leaves us with a complicated legacy. Nicknamed Charlie Hustle for his tenacity on the field, and then banned for life for betting on his own team. Pete Rose played in more games and has more at-bats than any player in Major League Baseball history. Amassing an astonishing 4,256 hits.
There it is! That's number 4,192!
A record that still stands today.
You could get 200 hits for 20 consecutive seasons and still be over 200 hits short of what Pete Rose accomplished in his career.
Over 24 seasons, Rose became the Rookie of the Year, an MVP, a 3-time World Series champion, and a 17-time All-Star.
With a real Rose-style rundown.
But for all of his achievements on the field, Pete Rose's legacy remains tarnished by scandal. In 1989, he was banned from baseball for life after an MLB investigation concluded he had in fact bet on games while managing for the Cincinnati Reds. Despite his denial for years, Rose did eventually admit in a 2004 interview with ABC's Charlie Gibson that he had, in fact, gambled on baseball.
Did you bet on baseball?
Yes, I did, and that was my mistake, not coming clean a lot earlier.
Did you bet on your own team?
Yes.
Did you ever?
I believed in my team. I mean, I knew my team, but it never altered the way I tried to run the game.
The infraction has forever kept Rose from being inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Off the field, Rose faced more challenges, including a conviction for tax evasion, which led to time in prison. In his 2019 autobiography, Rose expressed deep regret for his actions, writing, "I'm truly sorry. I loved baseball and played the game the way it should be played, always all out." Pete Rose was 83 years old. And despite his many records, Rose was never admitted into the MLB Hall of Fame as a result of his ban from baseball. But he is still loved by so many. And this morning, Major League Baseball did issue a statement extending its deepest condolences to Pete Rose's family. Guys.
Well, I tell you, he played all out, obviously. Mm-hmm. Had to get those hits regardless of wherever else happened. So. All right, thank you so much for that, Lara. Coming up, the new claim about Queen Elizabeth's private health battle.
Plus, a new report about where we are in the fight against breast cancer.
Coming up, the holiday shopping report released overnight. What to know before you buy. We'll be right back.
Good lead, he's not going. Lindor sends this one high and deep to center. Harris is watching. You gotta be kidding me! Lindor dumps it into the pen, and the Mets are back on top.
Francisco Lindor with that 2-run homer in the 9th. What a comeback this season for the Amazons. They beat the Atlanta Braves in Game 1 of a doubleheader to clinch a wild card spot. The Braves secured their spot in the postseason with a win in the second game. The MLB wild card round gets underway this afternoon. Champagne all around for my friends right here on ABC.
We needed something good to have from New York sports.
Well, yeah, because the football team is not so much.
Yeah, I'm just struggling.
Okay, so let's get to the headlines we're following right now. Tens of thousands of UN dock workers at more than a dozen ports from Maine to Texas are off the job on the picket line. 14 vital ports that absorb more than half of the cargo shipped to the U.S. from other countries are now at a standstill. The White House said President Biden, Vice President Harris, closely monitoring supply chain impacts. Also right now, NORAD's top commander is calling out a Russian pilot for unsafe and unprofessional conduct after coming within 50 feet of an American F-16 just off Alaska last week. It happened during an intercept that involved 2 Russian bombers and 2 fighter jets.
Verizon said that cell service has been fully restored after an outage that left thousands of customers with limited or no service. The outage began around 11 a.m. Monday, and about 100,000 reports were recorded. The FCC says it's investigating the cause. And this morning, we're remembering Hall of Fame basketball player Dikembe Mutombo. Mutombo was one of the best defensive players and shot blockers in NBA history, and just a good man. Mutombo died after a battle with brain cancer. He was 58 years old.
He was a wonderful humanitarian as well.
Yeah,
finger wag.
Legendary on and off the court.
Yes, indeed.
No doubt. And we've got a lot more ahead, including the potential $8.5 billion merger involving Kate Spade, Coach, and Michael Kors, and if it will bring on higher prices. That is all coming up, George.
Right now, Michael, Queen Elizabeth's private health battle in her final days. In a new memoir, former British Prime Minister Boris Johnson claims that she was fighting bone cancer. Foreign correspondent James Longman is at Buckingham Palace in London. Good morning, James.
Yeah, good morning, George. Queen Elizabeth was famously very private about her health, but now, in a new memoir, former Prime Minister Boris Johnson has revealed new details about the cancer he says she suffered from in the final days of her life.
The late Queen Elizabeth II was suffering from bone cancer for a year or more before she died. That's according to former Prime Minister Boris Johnson. The health revelation comes in his new memoir, Unleashed. "I'd known for a year or more that she had a form of bone cancer," he wrote, and her doctors were worried that at any time she could enter a sharp decline. Johnson was among the last people to meet with the Queen. He visited her in Scotland on September 6, 2022. This photo, the last official one of Elizabeth II, was taken on that day when she oversaw the change in prime ministers. She died 2 days later. She seemed pale and more stooped, and she had dark bruising on her hands and wrists, probably from drips or injections, he wrote, adding that she'd known all summer that she was going, but was determined to hang on and do her last duty.
What the former Prime Minister Boris Johnson has done here is share a private piece of information that he had from the late Queen. She clearly did not want to share her health condition.
The palace never released details on the Queen's health, fiercely guarding her medical privacy. Her death certificate lists old age as a cause of death, and they declined to comment on Johnson's book. King Charles, in contrast, announced that he is undergoing cancer treatment, not divulging what kind, but giving updates along the way. As did Princess Kate, who shocked the world with her announcement back in March. And recently, she released this video explaining that her chemotherapy is now over.
The last 9 months have been incredibly tough for us as a family. Doing what I can to stay cancer-free is now my focus. Although I have finished chemotherapy, my path to healing and full recovery is long, and I must continue to take each day as it comes.
There has been a generational shift. The current king sharing his cancer diagnosis. Kate has told us that she's undergoing chemotherapy treatment. It's up to the individual how much they want to share with members of the public. And the late Queen was someone who wanted to keep her medical condition as private as she possibly could.
Now, in other royal news, Prince Harry is back in London. He's been at a charity event. Prince William has been out in the capital too. He's been visiting a sustainability project that he supports. But despite the fact that both brothers are in the same city at the same time for once, there's been no meeting. Guys.
All right, James, thank you for that. And now we're going to turn to the potential merger that would bring together 6 upscale fashion brands under a single company. Aaron Katersky is here with more. And Aaron, the government says it's a bad deal for consumers.
And this has to be the first time the focus of a federal court hearing is a $279 Kate Spade tote described as a colorful, joyful, feminine green and white, seen on Emily in Paris. Federal Trade Commission wants a judge to block this $8.5 billion merger of the company behind Kate Spade and Coach with the company behind Michael Kors. The FTC argued these brands dominate what's known as the accessible luxury market, and if they combined, consumers would suffer by paying higher prices. Michael Kors actually testified in this hearing, telling the judge there's already plenty of competition for handbags, so much so that he learned about one brand when he saw a photo of a bag on the arm of Taylor Swift. Kors testified his handbags have reached a point of brand fatigue, And a lawyer arguing in favor of the merger said it would revitalize the Michael Kors brand so consumers have yet another viable choice. The goal, he said, is to sell more handbags to more consumers. Guys, the judge took these arguments under advisement. She could rule at any time.
I admire your range of forecasts.
Absolutely.
Say that here. Thank you for that. Appreciate you. Now, to the new sales forecast for the holiday season. Becky Worley has strategies to help save you some money. Good morning, Becky.
Robin, good morning. New data just out. Analysts from PwC are predicting a 7% increase in holiday spending. And retailers are starting early with October sales. Target's Circle Week begins October 6th and will feature 7 days of savings. It's followed by Amazon's Prime Big Day Deal Days. That's October 8th and 9th. Adobe Analytics also out with its holiday forecast. And a new milestone, mobile online shopping will be more prevalent than desktop purchasing this year. But good news, after an inflation-ridden year of deal hunting, Adobe says shoppers will finally see some discounts on brand name goods. That's good news for Aaron and where he's shopping in his last story. So here's the strategy advice. Retailers are starting sales early, both to undercut each other and, this is important, to encourage people to spend across multiple paychecks. But Adobe says the biggest discounts will hit around Thanksgiving. So my advice, wait until then if you can. Maybe put weekly deposits into the Christmas savings fund to get bigger discounts in November. Only trouble is that port strike may complicate things, so for things that you got to have, get them early.
Yep, we got to keep that in mind, Becky. Thank you so much. Now on GMA, with the American Cancer Society releasing its 2024 breast cancer statistics this morning, and we have it first on GMA. Dr. Karen Knutson, the CEO of the American Cancer Society and ACS CAN, is joining us exclusively to talk about these findings. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And the report, looking at it, it's a mixed bag. So let's start with the good news first. Mortality rates are down.
They sure are. So this is part of our commitment to patients and families across the country to report on progress against cancer. So when we look at progress against breast cancer, we are delighted to report a 44% reduction in overall breast cancer mortality since 1989, which was the high watermark for breast cancer death in this country.
So that is the good news. There is some troubling statistics as well, that it's targeting a certain group. Can you explain more about that?
Well, that's right. So when we look at incidence overall, so people being diagnosed with breast cancer, we see overall for all women about a 1% year-over-year rise in diagnosis. But when we unpack that and look at who is being disproportionately affected, it's women of a younger age, so younger than 50. That increase in incidence is a little higher than the average, about 1.4% year over year. But a really unsuspected or unexpected trend in women of Asian descent, so Asian American and Pacific Islanders, seeing a 2.5% rise in breast cancer incidence. So we're watching that to try to understand what is driving these differences in different populations.
Yeah, that is a very alarming. We here on GMA, there are more and more reports of younger generation. Are there any reasons behind this? Any early findings why that's the case?
So there are some things that we know now. So for example, we know that there is an increasing incidence of obesity in the United States, and breast cancer risk includes obesity as a risk factor. We also know that alcohol use is associated with breast cancer risk and incidence, but there must be something more because it's not affecting populations equally. We see this rise in Gen X and millennials with breast cancer at a younger age compared to baby boomers. So something more must be at play, and so cancer research investment will be really important for us to understand what that is.
And you'll continue that research. When I was diagnosed with triple-negative breast cancer in 2007, I was told as a black woman that I was less likely to be diagnosed, but more likely to die if I was diagnosed. Is that still true for black women? Are they disproportionately affected?
Unfortunately, that's true. So actually, if we go back to the 1970s, before we knew as much about breast cancer as we know now, mortality rates for black and white women were approximately equal. Now fast forward to today, where black women have a reduced incidence, so a lower incidence of breast cancer, but a 38% increase mortality rate compared to white counterparts. So there's much to unpack. Part of that is triple negative breast cancer, which is more common in Black women. But there must be more. Everything from access to early detection, which we know saves lives, all the way through access to the latest cancer research breakthroughs.
I've been told to wrap, but I have to ask you about men because they don't get enough coverage about this, and the numbers there are troubling as well.
Please do. There is no screening plan for men, and male breast cancer is rare but very serious. About 3,000 men this year in the United States will be diagnosed with breast cancer, and more than 500 will die of that disease. So if you feel something, do something.
Important that we share that as well.
Please.
Dr. Knudsen, thank you very much. I know you're going to stick around because we have much more to talk about. We have questions from thrivers. We have caregivers here in our studio as well, and that's coming up in our next hour.
Now, with one father's journey through the hurricane to walk his daughter down the aisle at her wedding. Lara, this is a great story. You got it for us.
I'm so happy to share with you David Jones. While he battled the elements, he trudged through the aftermath of Hurricane Helene across state lines because he refused to miss his daughter's big day.
For David Jones, what would normally be a 2-hour drive from South Carolina to Tennessee to get to his daughter's wedding turned into a 12-hour odyssey after Hurricane Helene made the roads impassable.
I just went to the back of my car and grabbed my backpack and off I went on foot.
Using his camera phone flashlight, Jones began to walk the rest of the way. A trek, he says, took 5 hours through downed trees and debris.
I sunk down in the mud. It was like quicksand right down to my knees.
Along the way, he did receive some help. One trooper driving him a little closer.
He said, "Sir, are you the one that's trying to get your daughter's wedding?"
Finally, arriving home Saturday morning after walking through the night, Jones had just enough time to shower and head to the church to walk his daughter down the aisle.
And I had no idea he walked me down the aisle. It was until the reception that he explained the story of what he had gone through. It was an emotional roller coaster for me because I love my dad very much.
And Elizabeth told us that even though it was an emotional day, she never doubted for 1 minute that her dad would make it to that wedding.
And they both look so
love.
happy.
Yep.
Yeah, that is.
Great
Thank
ending.
you. We'll be right back.
Good morning, America. It's 8 a.m. on strike. Tens of thousands of union dock workers at ports from Maine to Texas hit the picket line. Now the standstill impacting the nation.
Nothing's going to move without us. Nothing.
How it could cost the economy billions of dollars a week. What it could mean for supply chains and prices.
Neighbors helping neighbors. The race to get relief into areas hard hit by Helene. People collecting water, food, and supplies for those in need. Our friend Yassine Toureau mobilizing his community again. And this morning, what you can do to help.
It's gonna be a good day.
Power in Pink. We're marking the beginning of Breast Cancer Awareness Month with top experts sharing the latest on prevention, detection, and treatment, and the importance of emotional support. Plus, recipes to help reduce your risk of cancer. Thrivers and caregivers are here, and they're saying,
Live in Times Square, this is GMA.
Good morning, America. As that billboard showed you outside, we are kicking off National Breast Cancer Awareness Month this morning.
And we want to take a look at some beautiful thrivers out there and the unsung heroes we're going to sing about. We're talking about the caregivers. This morning we have the latest science and we're answering their questions and a whole lot more.
That is coming up. First look at the top stories breaking at 8. We start with the tens of thousands of dock workers who walked off the job just after midnight. The strike threatens the nation's supply chains, could lead to higher prices, possible shortages. Ports from Maine to Texas are impacted. I want to go back to Elizabeth Schulze at the Port of New York and New Jersey. Good morning, Elizabeth.
Hey, good morning, George. And this is the first time in nearly 50 years that tens of thousands of those union dock workers at ports all along the east and Gulf Coast have gone on strike. Workers here told us they showed up just at midnight when the International Longshoremen's Association announced the strike, and the union's president says they will not leave until they get a fair deal. So despite these 11th hour negotiations, there was not a deal between the U.S. Maritime Alliance and the union over a 6-year contract. The union wants a 77% wage increase, limits on the use of automated machines. Alliance has responded with a nearly 50% pay hike. So what this means is that 14 ports that handle more than half of cargo that come into the U.S. are now at a virtual standstill. So that means products like groceries, clothes, machinery will not be loaded on or off container ships. This strike really could be crippling for the U.S. economy, depending on how long it lasts. A week-long strike expected to cost $7.5 billion. Many companies have been stockpiling and rerouting their shipments to West Coast ports to make sure that their shelves are stocked ahead of the holiday shopping season. But every day that this strike goes on, it could take 6 days to clear the backlog. The White House says that it is closely working with both parties to try to negotiate a deal fairly and quickly. Michael.
Yes, Elizabeth, a lot of disruption there. Thank you so much for that. And this morning, we are wishing happy birthday to former President Jimmy Carter. He is turning 100 years old today, and our senior national correspondent, Steve Olsen-Sami, has more in Atlanta. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning to you, Michael. No question, this is a day that many people just a few years ago weren't sure that we would see. Here's to a happy birthday to former President Jimmy Carter, who continues his reign as the oldest living president by turning 100 years old today. Here at the Carter Center, they're going to be sharing a star-studded celebration that they had for him a few years ago. People who couldn't get a ticket inside will watch. And there are a number of events in his hometown of Plains, but we're told we won't see him for any of those today. The last time President Carter was seen in public was at his wife's funeral, where even in his advanced age, he wouldn't listen to people who suggested that he probably shouldn't make the hours-long trek to Atlanta for that service. He had a new suit made for the occasion. President Jimmy Carter started hospice care in February of 2023, but we have to remind ourselves that this is a man who beat cancer that spread to his brain and his liver. He's now told family that he intends to make it through the election, where unsurprisingly we're told he plans to vote for Kamala Harris. Here at the Carter Center, they'll be registering people to vote today. Robin.
He is an amazing man. Amazing. All right, Steve, thank you. We're going to turn now to a Monday Night Football doubleheader. The Lions hosted the Seahawks and the Titans visited the Dolphins in Miami. Will Reed, you got all those highlights for us.
I do, Robin. Good morning. After last season, the two teams that most people thought were poised to take the leap to Super Bowl contention were the Detroit Lions and Miami Dolphins. So far this year, they've been on divergent paths. After last night's doubleheader, one team now sitting at 1 win and 3 losses. The other at 3-1. So we'll start with the winners. The black and blue, Detroit Lions delighting their home crowd with some athletic plays and some trickeration. That's wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown throwing a touchdown to quarterback Jared Goff. How about that? Dan Campbell, the coach, pulling out all the stops. Jared Goff was perfectly good at his day job as well. He threw 18 passes. He completed every single one of them. Wow. But Seattle not going down without a fight in this game. It was a total track meet, high scoring. The Lions ultimately roaring to victory, 42-29 the final. That breaks a 0-6 losing streak against Seattle. And on the other side of the Monday night win-loss column, down in Miami, the Dolphins, they were unable to get anything going. The Titans getting their first win of the season, 31-12. That's after Titans quarterback Will Levis threw an early interception. Then he went down with an injury. The Dolphins have not led for a single second of game time in this season. They do have one win, but it was in the last second. Star QB Tua Tagovailoa still sidelined with a concussion for at least 2 more weeks, if not longer. And thus concludes Week 4 in the NFL, and we look ahead to Week 5. Just 2 undefeated teams remain, one of which is Kansas City. The Chiefs will take center stage Monday night. It'll be Patrick Mahomes' first ever time facing Robin's New Orleans Saints.
Ooh, yeah. You had to face it like that. Okay. Yeah. I like how you said thus.
Thus. I was an English major in college. It's got to be good for something sometimes, right?
Well done.
We learn something new every day about each other.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Will. Coming up in our GMA morning menu, how neighbors are helping neighbors recover from Hurricane Helene.
Also at GMA's Power in Pink, marking the start of National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Thrivers and caregivers are here. We have the latest science on prevention, screening, and treatment that's coming up.
Plus, dietitian Rachel Beller is here with easy recipe swaps that may help reduce cancer risk. And Tori Johnson has deals and steals in honor of Thrivers. And Lara, you have a very special guest.
I am here, Robin, with Rachel Platten. We are always so happy to have her on Good Morning America. And this morning, she will perform live on this Power in Pink morning, and she is ready to celebrate with all of our thrivers. So stay with us on Good Morning America.
Welcome back for our GMA cover story. The road to recovery for victims of Hurricane Helene and the community. They're coming together to help one another during this difficult time. Morgan Norwood is in North Carolina, where folks are digging deep to help their neighbors in need. Good morning, Morgan.
Hey, good morning to you, Michael. Of course, water is the big need over in Western North Carolina. And here at Myers Park United Methodist Church, you can see there is plenty of it here. They're loading it up into this trailer. They've also got portable shower systems, and it's all headed over to Asheville. And Michael, this is a huge operation. It is a labor of love with folks from all different backgrounds, cultural beliefs, and faiths united under one mission this morning, and that is to help.
This morning, communities pitching in to get necessities into areas hard hit by Helene. In Western North Carolina, the region in desperate need of water. This group of realtors in neighboring Winston-Salem collecting it by the caseload.
We just felt like we needed to do something. When I woke up on Saturday morning, I still had power. I still had my family. I knew where they were, and other people can't say that.
With much of Western North Carolina's roads impassable, washed out, or submerged, private pilots assemble airlifting water, medicine, and gear from Statesville to Asheville. In East Tennessee, Helene's catastrophic flooding swallowing homes and businesses.
This is one of the truck. We want to get it full.
Yassine Tiro, friend of GMA and owner of Yassine's Falafel House, mobilizing his community once again.
We act as a family, and we keep building the love and keep building who we are as an American and keep the volunteer spirit alive.
Tiro filling trucks with supplies to take to the disaster zone, raising more than $20,000 with plans to open a kitchen to feed those in need.
We're going to go and make sure to get them what they need. We want to be flexible, but give all the donation, all the money back to our community.
For Marcus Stokely, the owner of Well Station Barbecue, it's personal. Helene hammering his hometown of Greenville, Tennessee.
We've never had anything this far inland happen like that.
Stokely collecting thousands of dollars along with supplies, even firing up the smoker.
I've always said food is something that brings people together. I'm cooking about 50 pork butts, smoking them.
And while some helpers are pulling together relief, neighbors, some even in need themselves, just doing what neighbors do.
We're hosting a potluck. Everybody bring your own bowl and spoon, so we're sharing food, and water is now becoming available, but a lot of us had water on hand that we're sharing if needed.
And that is truly what neighbors do. And here's what the neighbors, again, here in Charlotte are doing, again, loading this stuff up. They've also got teams of volunteers. They have raised thousands of dollars, and they're stepping off pretty soon for Asheville, George.
Okay, Morgan, thanks very much. Turning now to Power in Pink. We are kicking off Breast Cancer Awareness Month with Dr. Karen Knudsen, the CEO of the American Cancer Society and ACSCAN. Welcome back. It's great to have you here. So we want to talk about prevention, screening, and treatment right now. Let's start with screening. What are the latest guidelines?
Yeah, so important. And there's much science behind this. So it's important to know screening guidelines are for women of average risk. What does that mean? Starting age 40, have that discussion with your physician about the right screening plan for you. All women should start their annual screening at age 45. After age 55, women have an option to stay with that annual screening or to go to every other year until they have less than 10 years to live. So even beyond age 75, if a woman has an expectation to live another 10 years, she should still get screened.
What about younger women who don't qualify for a mammogram?
Yeah, well, it's important to understand that there is a rise in breast cancer in the younger population. They may be below this 40. So if there's something that seems amiss, you must be screened. But also important to know who is not of average risk, because risk is more than just about your age. It's your genetics, your family history, your own medical health exposures. So those are the conversations to have as soon as possible with your doctor to understand what's the right screening plan for you.
And there really have been advancements in screening and advancements in treatment.
Absolutely, and that's what's driving down this 44% reduction in breast cancer mortality that we reported on earlier today. Mammograms are not what they used to be. We used to be at 2-dimensional, now we're at 3-dimensional, much more effective for women whose breasts are difficult to image, like women who have dense breasts who are at higher risk for breast cancer. Treatments have also improved. I'm old enough to remember when breast cancer was one disease. Now we know it's many subgroups that all arise due to different reasons and have to be treated with different therapies.
So many of us learned for the first time about what is called preventive chemotherapy after Princess Kate made her announcement. Explain what's going on there.
This is so incredibly important. There are thousands of women across the country every year who go to mammography and they don't have breast cancer, but they're identified as having a high-risk lesion, or maybe they have a genetic risk of breast cancer. They can go on chemo prevention. The studies are quite clear for a large subgroup of these women. They can go on what is a low dose of tamoxifen or estrogen receptor-related therapies that can significantly reduce their cancer risk. So beyond just the things that you can do in your healthy living to reduce breast cancer risk, chemo prevention is real for breast cancer.
And where do things stand on a breast cancer vaccine?
Yeah, so vaccination against cancer is something not new to the cancer field. We know that we can effectively prevent many cancers through vaccination. For example, through vaccination against the human papillomavirus, for which we have the opportunity to eliminate, for example, cervical cancer. So there's much now in clinical testing and as well in development for vaccinations that can help with breast cancer prevention as well as therapeutic intervention. More to come.
That's so important to hear. And we have a great group of thrivers and survivors and caregivers here in the studio. We're going to be taking more questions from them later. But what's your most important message to everyone here?
Yeah, I think the most important message is that there is more hope than ever before because of early detection, because of what we know we can do with prevention, and because of advances in therapeutic intervention. So more to come, but certainly more hope than ever before.
And more to come here as well. We're going to continue our discussion with two other leading breast cancer experts, take questions from thrivers, survivors, and caregivers right here in our studio.
And it's time now for Deals and Steals. And this morning, Tori Johnson is here with deals in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And they are all from small businesses. And this one I'm going to start with is really special. They make inclusive bras and clothing for those going through treatment and for survivors.
That's right. And their motto is one breast, two breasts, no breasts, new breasts. All chests deserve support. And that's what Ana Ono is really dedicated to. We have an enormous assortment from them of all of their exquisite bras that are designed specifically for pre-surgery, post-surgery, recovery. They pay such specific attention to the structure, the fabrics, every single detail.
What women need at certain times.
They also have these really soft, feel that fabric. The lounge pants are just kind of like a recovery essential because you don't feel them. They're not going to bother pain points. The robes are phenomenal. So this is a special company, and everything today, 50% off from Ana
Thank
Ono.
you.
Yes.
Ana Ono. Okay, some great jewelry.
Some
Beautiful.
great jewelry. This is from Awe-inspired, wearable symbols of empowerment, started by a 3-time cancer survivor, thriver, and she's all about giving women symbols that they can wear to offer hope, empowerment. I love, there's the entire goddess collection that we have in rings and necklaces, but then we also have these really awesome mantra necklaces. I'm wearing one that they sent me that says, I am worthy of abundance. There's one that I love that says, inhale the future, exhale the past. They've got these angel numbers in white topaz that are really beautiful.
Yeah, they really
the
are.
hat, come on, who doesn't love this hat in my goddess era? And this is really just about reminding you that for a lot of us there's this
hope.
resilience, strength, hope that comes from within. Everything today, 50 to 60% off, starts at $19 and free shipping
And
from
really
Awe-inspired.
beautiful
These
quality.
pieces, everyone is staring at them.
I love
Gorgeous.
this company too. This is created by another thriver, and this is deodorant that's really healthy.
Yes. So it's all about 24-hour protection with no aluminum, no perfumes, no dyes, no parabens. I was texting yesterday with Sweet Amber, who introduced me to this line, and she's like, yep, I still love it, still use it. So big endorsement there. We've got some of their newest products as well. So obviously we have the deodorant, but we also have these brand new deodorant wipes. These are great for when a shower just simply feels too overwhelming, but they're also really great to travel with because it's just a portable size. We have their great sprays, their deodorant sprays, but all of the products phenomenal from this company, and everything today 50% off.
Amazing.
Yes.
On to skincare with the same sort of philosophy.
So if you are focused on sensitive skin or especially mindful about what you are putting on your body, Gold Fatten MD is designed to mimic those in-office dermatologist treatments, but with good-for-you ingredients, all in their case natural, clean, plant-powered products. And then we've got variety I love of some of the best sellers here. They've got this Dr. Scrub that's a really great everyday exfoliator. Perhaps one of my favorites is called the Liquid Facelift.
Yeah, I tried that. I liked it.
Tiny little one here with pretty quick results.
Also the Bright Eyes, tell them about the
Bright Eyes. Yes,
really
Bright Eyes is fabulous for that under eye area.
Yeah.
It's ultra light but advanced.
And like really gives you that ding, little
exactly, a little ding.
Yeah.
And then also we've got great products for hydration. Everything from Gold Fatten MD today, slashed in half, and free shipping from them as well.
50 to 75% off on
Big
that.
savings.
So check that out.
Big savings.
And then these are vegan?
So soft, yes. So 100% cruelty-free, vegan, faux fur. When somebody is going through a difficult time, a cozy blanket is my go-to gift.
Yep.
These are ultra soft. They also have this really unique elastic stretch in them that kind of just like envelops you in a comfortable hug.
Yeah, I just want to climb into
super
this
comfortable.
one.
And one of the best things about this is zero shedding, which is not always the case with faux fur. Zero shedding on this. We've got 7 colors, 3 different sizes. They're machine washable, 50% off, and free shipping from Lola Blankets.
Let's go. And then we're bringing it home with a beauty.
With Blissy. We love Blissy.
Yeah,
100% silk, mulberry silk. Great because it's very gentle on skin and hair at a time when you especially want to
Protect
be gentle
that
on
hair,
skin and hair, which can be every day, but especially when you're going through a difficult time, that matters a lot. We've got a huge variety of all of their beautiful colors. These also have a zipper on them so that they stay on your pillow in place, and they're machine washable, and they're 50% off, and they have free shipping.
Wow, that is fantastic. These are all really thoughtful, great gifts sourced by Tori, partnering with these companies. You can get them just by heading to our website. Super easy, or check out that QR code. Coming up, we have an expert panel answering questions about breast cancer prevention, screening, and treatment. Stay with us.
Welcome back to GMA, live from Times Square.
A beautiful audience here with us because we're back now with Power in Pink. This is the first day of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we have assembled a breast cancer panel of some of the top doctors in the field. They are Dr. Elizabeth Coleman. Give it up for her. She's a medical oncologist at NYU Langone Health. Dr. Monique James, the Assistant Clinical Director of Psychiatry at Memorial Sloan Kettering. And back with us is Dr. Karen Knutson, the CEO of the American Cancer Society and ACS.
And we also have a group of thrivers and caregivers here in the studio with us who have questions for our doctors. We're going to get those questions in a second, but we're going to give you a hand first. That's right. And thank you all for being here. We're happy you have questions for the doctors. And the first question is from Amy. It's for Dr. Knutson. So go ahead, Amy.
Good morning, Dr. Knutson. I was diagnosed with breast cancer in September 2020. I went through chemotherapy, immunotherapy, hormonal shots, and I will be taking pills for the next 7 years. I just was recently speaking with my friend who stopped taking all cancer medications because she could not afford it. What do we do in these situations?
Yeah, first of all, Amy, thank you so much for the question, and you are why we are here. Unfortunately, what your friend is experiencing is all too common. We have a survivor tsunami coming in the United States. Thankfully, as the mortality rate's gone down for cancer, more people are surviving cancer, but then suffering from some of these knock-on effects, including what we call financial toxicity. We know now that that's a real toxicity, and that someone who is experiencing a hardship to pay for their cancer medicines has a worse outcome, and they will often have medications or skip medications in order to make it happen. So it's really important to know that there are resources, to ask early on with your oncology team about access to those resources with the American Cancer Society and beyond to help offset some of those costs, because there are things that actually can be done to offset financial toxicity. So important. I'm glad you asked.
There are so many resources that are out there. Charmaine, where are you? Okay, you have a question for Dr. James?
Yes, my question is for Dr. James. My name is Charmaine. I am a 7-year triple negative breast cancer survivor as of October 9th. So my question is, through my journey of a double mastectomy and reconstruction, chemo, all the things that needed to be done, between friends and family that you just kind of thought would be there when it mattered, and they weren't. How do you manage that, especially when you're on the other side and you still have to walk this walk?
I get that. Well, Charmaine, thank you so much for asking that question, and thank you all so much for being here. And first of all, this is so common. Unfortunately, it's very common. It's so common that we have a term for it. We usually call it cancer ghosting. You might have heard that before. It could happen along the cancer continuum, all ages, all stages, friends, family, loved ones. So the first thing is that it's common. I usually tell my patients also, as much as you can, not to take it personally. So many people bring their own past experiences to you, whether it's their own experience, loved ones' experiences. A lot of it is about their own fear, their own love for you. If you feel comfortable, though, there are different kinds of supports: emotional support, physical support, material support, transportation. So if you feel comfortable talking to that person about perhaps we can have a different kind of relationship right now. Perhaps we can go see a movie instead of having this talk over coffee. However, to be prepared for if that person does not want to have this relationship for any reason. And so it's also okay to be sad. It's also okay to grieve that relationship that's different and that has changed right now. But however, right, to be open to new people coming into your life, new people fitting that emotional support relationship that you may have missed.
Great. Good answer. Where's Audrey? You have a question for Dr. Komen?
Yes. Hi, nice to meet you. My mom, Deb Hare, was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2018 and unfortunately passed in 2022. Breast cancer did not run in my family before, so what kind of genetic testing should I do as a young woman, and what does that entail?
Oh, thank you so much for your question, and I'm so sorry for the loss of your mother. I know that is all too common, and that grief is extremely traumatic, so thank you for the bravery of asking your question as well. So many patients, most patients in fact diagnosed with breast cancer don't have a family history, but about 5 to 10% of breast cancers have a hereditary cause, which means that either from your mother's side or your father's side, and a lot of times people forget that you can actually inherit 50% of your genes from your father as well, you can inherit a potential risk for breast cancer or maybe other cancers. So the first thing I would say is, to the best of your ability, try to assemble an understanding of what cancers, not just breast cancer, but really any type of cancer on your mother's side, including cousins as well, and your father's side. Bring that information to your doctor and ask to speak with a genetic counselor about what genetic testing may be appropriate for you, because there's lots of different types of genetic counseling and genetic testing out there.
All right, thank you for that. And next we have Amanda with a question for Dr. James.
Hello. I was diagnosed with breast cancer in December. I just finished chemo about 8 weeks ago. I was diagnosed at 38 and I have 2 very small children. So what's the best way to explain cancer to kids who know something's wrong or off, but can't really comprehend cancer?
Amanda, thank you for your question. It's a great question. And 8 weeks out, that's amazing. So, kids talking to kids about cancer. So first of all, kids are truth tellers and they also say the darndest things. And so I think to be prepared, number one, that they will have questions. They're also observant. They're also resilient, but also very observant. So there's a few tips that we usually say. First is that if this child is in your life, to kind of prepare them first. So if you can say that these things are coming up, I'm going to be going to the doctor more often, I'm going to have special treatment, there might be parts of my body that change, right? You don't have to use the word cancer if you don't want to, but you can as well, right? Some of it is about giving language, and of course age appropriate, right? And then we also want kids always to hear this news in a familiar way. So if your family has always said news around dinner, then do that. If it's on a walk, if it's in play, then do that, right? This is not the time to kind of change things up so drastically. But the biggest thing is that you don't want them to have questions alone, right? You want them to have a place to go where they can get answers and to feel comfortable. But to giving them a warning sign that something might change with my hair and different parts of my body would be the best.
Wow, these have been all great responses and very, very helpful. And I'm glad that we're recognizing the beautiful thrivers that we have here in the audience. And Dr. Knudsen, can I also ask us to talk about the caregivers that are with us and those that are at home, that they need support as well?
No question. The science on this is very clear that as the caregiver goes, the patients go. So patients who have a caregiver and who have a caregiver who's in good health do better. So you are incredibly important caregivers as part of this cancer journey, and it's important to connect with each other, as important as it is to connect patients. We know that connecting caregivers is really critical. So we do offer at the American Cancer Society some resources to that. I encourage you to go to cancer.org to take advantage of that so we can help connect you to another caregiver who's walked in your shoes and is helping someone who has the cancer that you are assisting. So really important, and thank you for what you do.
We have time for one more question. Let's get that from Janelle for Dr. Komen.
Hello, docs. So I'm 11 months in remission from triple negative breast cancer. And like many women, I had dense breasts. What exactly is the next step when a mammogram is inconclusive? Is it an ultrasound or an x-ray?
So great question, and this has really been in the news lately because as of September 10th, the FDA has mandated that women be informed whether they have dense breasts or not. So what are dense breasts? They're very common. Almost half of all women over the age of 40 have dense breasts. It's not something that you can see or feel or that a doctor could feel, but something that a radiologist detects on a mammogram. So if you have dense breasts, such as yourself, it's important that you talk to your doctor about what additional screening may be necessary to pick up a breast cancer and pick up a breast cancer early. So that may be a breast ultrasound. In some instances, it's a breast MRI, but it's a very individual discussion with your doctor about what are the next steps that are appropriate for you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Doctors, thank you so very much. Thank you for being here and for being so reassuring and for the wonderful just your presence and just looking at them and just wanting to answer those questions. And to you all as well, you're absolutely beautiful, you're thriving, and we appreciate your bravery, your strength. But wait, there's more. Okay. Everybody here in our studio, did you see Tori Johnson and those items that she had in the deals and steals? Well, you're going to be going home with some of those products. Now, with our Power in Pink series and recipes that may help reduce cancer risk, dietitian and our good friend Rachel Beller is the author of Spice Rack, and she joins us now with swap outs you can make on the plate that could have a powerful impact. You've never done this in front of a live audience. You got this. You got
it's been
this.
a few.
No.
Yes.
Thank you as always. And we should tell people, now you're not saying you can prevent or cure cancer, but there are certain foods that can reduce the risk.
Yes, and I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah.
It's very important to note that no single food or diet can prevent or cure cancer, but what we eat over time collectively can make a difference along with physical activity. So yes, we're starting with our fiber.
I know, she loves to talk about fiber every time that she's here. So tell us, how can we, in breakfast, how can we get a little more fiber in there?
Yes, so it's very, very important. My goal is to recommend 30 to 35 grams of fiber. This is really important because it supports our hormonal balance, helps us with our weight management, immunity, gut health, so much. And I recommend starting with about 10 grams in the morning. That's important because it gives you a good start to the day. And I have some examples here. So raspberries, a cup, 8 grams of fiber, edamame for breakfast, protein and fiber, 9 grams. It's great. Avocado, 10 grams of fiber. And I have some breakfast examples for you. So we've got an avocado chia toast here. We upgraded it, sprouted flourless bread.
Oh, okay.
About 11 grams of fiber.
That's a lot.
And then I've got a pear bliss parfait here, about 13.5 grams of fiber. Pears do deserve a better PR because it's got 6 grams of fiber, which is incredible.
Yeah.
So simple and easy.
I grabbed the pear on the way in this morning because I knew that you were saying that, talking about that. Okay, with lunch, and you're talking about there are other ways we can sneak some things in. And dressing, because we're always told to avoid dressing, but you're saying something different.
No, dressing is a great, unexpected way to upgrade the nutritional value of your meals. So what I have here is a dressing that includes ground flaxseed, the #1 source of lignans, which are protective. And then I added the Bella Nutrition Power Spice Blend, the Vegitude Power.
I have this, yes.
It's absolutely great. Garlic, onion, turmeric, black pepper, and parsley.
Wow.
An incredible, simple way to really sneak in antioxidants, anti-inflammatory properties. Good stuff. It's delicious. And it comes with a book, too.
Okay. Parsley. What's parsley?
This is a parsley tonic. I love this. Parsley is rich in epigenin, which is very protective, but also in this tonic, I added some fennel seeds, some Ceylon cinnamon, and this is great for your digestion. I personally drink this to help me debloat. I love it. You can have it chilled or warm. Excellent.
Okay, so can we get dessert after all of this? I mean, come on.
Of course,
All right, we've worked really hard.
We all need dessert, so we need to treat ourselves. So the powerhouse ingredient here is sesame seeds. I've got tahini paste. It's the second leading source of lignans after flax seeds.
What, the tahini?
The tahini is basically ground up sesame seeds, and it's great. I added it to this cookie right here. We also have almond flour, which is very nourishing, Ceylon cinnamon, or you can use the Bella Nutrition Cinnapeel spice, or you can add a little chocolate chips, some dark chocolate chips. Yeah, good stuff. And you know, we want to enjoy, but we want to keep it simple, and that's the key, and that's what I really focus on in my masterclass and also in my book. And then the Power Spice Blend, it's all to make things simple and easy.
I know how passionate you are about making a difference, and you do in so many lives. Thank you, Rachel. Appreciate that. And you can get these recipes on our website at goodmorningamerica.com. Are y'all ready for some music? Do you want to hear some music? Well, Rachel Platten is going to perform live when we come back here on GMA.
Well, we are back now with Rachel Platten for our Power in Pink series. She has a brand new album. It's called I Am Rachel Platten, and we are breaking some big news this morning. Rachel will be heading out on tour in early 2025. So excited about that. But we can't go anywhere yet because right now, Rachel will sing live for us her song called Mercy.
There's dirt in my nails from scraping the walls, and I thought I hit bottom, so I must have fallen. I know who I am, I didn't forget, but I just need relief, and then I won't give up yet. But oh God, this is all feeling so hard. Why am I lost out in the dark? And why am I struggling just to keep standing? And tears won't stop coming, and I don't understand them. Maybe it's true that I'm getting stronger. This really hurts me, crying, oh, mercy. Oh, mercy. Too hard on myself. I never let myself fail, but then my body screams hell, and my mind fights to bear. But oh God, this is all feeling so hard. Why am I lost out in the dark? And why did you leave me all alone, facing the worst pain that I've known? And maybe it's true that I'm getting stronger, but this really hurts me, crying, oh, mercy. I'm crying mercy. Oh, I'm on my knees, mercy.
Rachel, that was absolutely beautiful.